Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. It is clear that over the past decade, the Democrats have increasingly shown their appetite for higher taxes and more regulation and more spending. And now it's clear today that they're continuing on a path of spending as well as taxing. And I understand that some of the politics of the day, it's not that exciting to point out the bad policies that the Democrats have employed. Today we want to highlight what they're doing today and some of the solutions. So let me introduce one of the leaders in the Republican Party, the Honorable Amy Handlin.
Thank you, Leader. Here we go again. Another day, another board list, larded with spending bills that New Jersey can't afford, and devoid of a single solitary bill that offers the slightest hope for reducing property taxes. And we wonder why people are disenchanted with government as usual. Well, I'm one of the people, and I'm disenchanted too. Given the fact that nearly $250,000 in new costs and spending are being proposed today, my colleagues and I have concluded that the glitter of this golden dome has blinded our Democratic friends to what's going on outside the State House. From Cape May to High Point, people are desperate. They are desperate for us to make New Jersey affordable again. We, the Republican caucus, are ready to help them. We have nearly 80 bills to cut costs and provide tax relief, but of course the Democrats prefer to post bills like a $122 million increase in the earned income tax credit on top of the 30% increase enacted just last year. So the time has come to push lawmaking power out of this fantasy world into the real world. Today we call on the Democratic leadership to make us the 28th state with initiative and referendum. Let the people make decisions that the legislature is too gridlocked to make. Give the people who pay the bills a seat at the table where those bills are, even as we speak, being racked up without their input. As I'm sure you all know, I&R means the power to initiate new laws, like a property tax freeze, one of my personal favorites, or to reject existing laws. It enables the voters to, for all intents and purposes, bypass this building altogether, because even the governor cannot stop a law created through I&R. As I said, the time for I&R has come. We challenge our colleagues on the other side of the aisle to disagree with that simple, self-evident fact. Don't we owe it to the people to respect their judgment and let them help determine their own destiny at last? And if not, let the Democrats tell us, and let the Democrats tell the people exactly why not.
Assemblyman Anthony Bucco.
Thank you, Leader. You know, there's no better example for the need for I&R than today's board list. When you look at the board list today, there is not one bill that will help to reduce our already highest in the nation property taxes, or one bill to help make New Jersey more affordable. There is no bill to institute use it or lose it sick and vacation day payout. We've all seen the examples and read about the examples, the most recent one in Bayonne, where these huge, enormous payouts are crippling our municipalities and the taxpayers. There's no bill amending the civil service code to allow for shared services around the state. There's no bill changing the school funding formula to make it fairer and help reduce the property tax burden. There's no reforming of public pensions or health care that's crushing our budget. None of that today exists on the board list. Instead, it seems like the Democratic majority is essentially doubling down. Today, there's almost $250 million in additional spending outside of the budget. Outside of the budget. You'll see bills that provide interest-free loans to public employees, a bill that funds breakfast after the bell, a bill that expands TAG to part-time students, and then there's the Speaker's anti-poverty initiatives. And don't get us wrong, none of us standing here today are against trying to help those that are caught in the grips of poverty. None of us. But every time a bill gets introduced and passed by this legislature that has spending outside of the budget, the only way that that can be funded is on the backs of the taxpayers through raising taxes. And these bills don't even include the increase in the minimum wage to $15, the constitutional amendment guaranteeing quarterly payments into the pension system, and paid sick leave, which is coming down the barrel. Quite frankly, our colleagues across the aisle are spending like drunken sailors. But the problem is they're leaving the bill for the residents of the state of New Jersey, the taxpayers. At the end of today, the only thing that we will have accomplished is to drive more middle-class taxpayers out of the state because people simply can't afford it. And I join my colleague, Assemblywoman Handlin. I'm ready to campaign with my friends and neighbors for I&R. I'm ready to go out there. Because, you know what, we've had these press conferences. We have over 80 bills. You've all seen the list. They're right here. 80 bills to help make New Jersey more affordable, reduce property taxes around the state. But we can write bills until OLS runs out of ink. But if we can't get them posted and debated and heard, because the Democrat majority won't meet us halfway, then that ink's been wasted. So today I join my colleagues in calling on I&R. Calling for I&R. We need to stop this. We need to stop it. I think the people of New Jersey are frustrated and angry, and we ask them to join us, to start the drumbeat, to get some of these finally moving from back on the back shelves, blow the dust off, and get them heard. Thank you.
So as the media and the Democrats keep Chris Christie in their crosshairs, the ongoing policies of the Democrats have crippled this state in terms of its economic growth, its attempt to attract new businesses, and creates an atmosphere of flight for the taxpayer. So I would ask you, take the cameras, point them at the policymakers who've been sitting there for 14 years, and ask them, who created this mess? Assemblywoman Handlin now says, hey, since the state of New Jersey's legislature wants to continue to create a bigger mess, give it to the taxpayers, let them control the agenda, take it away from Mr. Sweeney, take it away from Mr. Prieto.